Welcome back everyone to another video featuring the ChessUp 2 Smart Chessboard. Now you may have seen me feature this board on my channel a few months ago. This was back when they were doing a Kickstarter campaign and they had sent me a prototype of the board. But I'm happy to say the board has officially launched and it's available for sale now on their website. More information in the link below. And I've already gone ahead, connected the board to my Wi-Fi and to my chess.com account. So let's click chess.com, and this board is officially supported by chess.com. So you have access to play against online opponents or against the bots. For this video, I am going to play a 10-minute rapid game, and I'll make it rated. Why not try and gain some rating? Now, I am logged in on my I'm Rosen chess.com account, not my speedrun account. So I think my rating is in the 2400s. And looks like I got a game. I'm actually the black pieces, so let's flip the board. And it looks like my opponent is playing pawn to d4. And I'm going to play pawn to d5. Hopefully the framing is okay here. This is a different setup than usual. We have knight to f3. I'll play knight f6. And yeah, one of the differences between OTB and online chess, OTB it's common to adjust or j'adoube the pieces. We see pawn c3, perhaps the beginning of a Kali system. I'll play pawn c5. This is somewhat of a reverse Queen's Gambit now. And okay, this is actually now a London opening. I'll play knight c6. And it is nice that the ChessUp 2 has a built-in touchscreen, so I can see the clock times and my opponent's name and rating without needing to look at the smartphone app. So let's go ahead and play queen to b6. This is my favorite aggressive line against the London opening. We see queen to b3, and I will play pawn c4, offering the queen trade, but in the process gaining some space on the queen side. Queen takes b6, take back with my a pawn. I've had this position a good number of times over the years. We see knight b to d2. Let's bring in the bishop to f5. And I know a lot of players do struggle against the London opening. Sometimes it's a very solid and annoying opening, very difficult to crack. But I'm going to do my best here. I'll start with pawn h6, making this getaway square for the bishop, just in case we see white's knight come to h4. I can play bishop h7. We see bishop e2 here. I'll play pawn e6. And this is more of a positional and strategic game. I mean, my main plan going into the middle game is to try and pawn storm on the queen side. I'd like to play b5 and eventually pawn to b4, induce some weaknesses in white structure. White plays knight e5. Okay, let's go for pawn b5. I'm basically ignoring the fact that white is doing things with the knight in the center. We see pawn to a3. Now pawn a3 is maybe an attempt to discourage b4, but ironically, I think it makes b4 even stronger, because there's this pin on the a file, and yeah, for this reason, okay, we trade knights. Yeah, for this reason, b4 is a really nice break. White can't take with the a pawn, then drop a rook. And if white takes with the c-pawn, then I can take back with my bishop. Now, I'm still getting used to playing and commentating OTB. One of the drawbacks is I can't draw arrows, but I can still point, and hopefully people understand what I'm saying. White plays pawn a4, so the a file is not going to open up completely. I have a choice here. I could trade on c3. Actually, trading on c3 followed by knight e4, but then knight takes e4. I could play pawn to b3 is kind of interesting. And then I think long term, white's a-pawn is going to be very, very weak. It's a deep concept, but let's start with pawn b3. Now this is essentially forming connect 5. I do have a very beautiful pawn chain here. It's even more beautiful in the third dimension over the board. White is pushing this past a-pawn. I have a feeling this a-pawn is going to be way more of a weakness than a strength. And I guess now it's a question how to develop my king side. Thinking king d7 is an option. Bishop e7. Let's play bishop e7. I just want a castle and then get my rook into play from h8. White is still pushing the a-pawn. Wow. I wonder if white wants to play pawn a7 and then bishop to b8 and hug my rook very tightly. All right, let's go ahead and castle. I'm not scared of white's a-pawn. White castles back. And now I'll play rook a7, blockading the pawn and preparing to double up my rooks on a-file and pressure white's a-pawn. Now white might try and double up rooks themselves on the a-file. Yeah, rook a4. I'll play rook f to a8. I think we're going to see rook fa1. And now I need to figure out how to add one more attacker to this a-pawn. Not super obvious, but I like the idea of starting with knight d7. Might be some possibilities of knight b8. Also might be some possibilities of knight to b6 to attack the rook on a4. And I'm not in any rush to win the a-pawn. White is doing some things on the king side. Where to put my bishop? I might as well just drop back one square. White plays bishop to f3, so maybe white is preparing this e4 advance. Now it's a question, do I want to go for knight b8? Do I want to go for maybe something like bishop d8? I am getting a little bit low on time. All right, let's go for knight b8. I don't mind if white takes the knight with the bishop. I'll take back and then I'll hopefully enjoy the bishop pair. Okay, white does take. Let's take back. It's still a question, how am I going to win this pawn? And I'm thinking that eventually, okay, white plays king g2, so kind of a waiting move. Yeah, eventually I'm going to bring this bishop to c8. Maybe. It's kind of like a maze. How do I get there? And I think the plan is to play f6, bishop e8 to d7 to c8. If I can win the pawn and then trade rooks, should have very good chances to win the game. And for the time being, white is a little bit stuck. We saw the last move, king g2, didn't seem to change much in the position. Yeah, I'm going to play f6. Not really too concerned about white expanding with the e-pawn. If white takes on d5, I can take back either way. I think I'll take back with my c-pawn, undoubling my c-pawns. And now bishop e8 is on tap. If I get the bishop to e8, I will hit the rook on a4. White plays king f1. So let's play bishop e8. Now this almost traps a rook. And white has to move this rook to a5 here. And then I have some choices. I'll continue with the game plan. Bishop d7. Simple chess. It's kind of funny that the bishop was on such a nice diagonal, this h7, b1 diagonal, but now it's making the journey back home to its starting square on c8. And I think bishop c8 is going to be the beginning of the end for white. Because if I can win the a-pawn, then that's going to lead to a lot of simplification. I'm ready to take probably with my b-rook. And what's funny is if we end up trading all the rooks, I'll probably look to put my bishop back on this g6 square. So the bishop might end up taking the pawn, move back to c8, d7, e8, and then g6. And for the time being, white is, okay, white's trying to do something. Yeah, pawn f5 might be coming. But okay, I have time. I can take the pawn. The rooks are coming off the board quite quickly. Just over 4 minutes left. Unfortunately, there's no pre-moving on this board, so I have to up the tempo a little bit. Bishop c8, so defending my pawn on e6 takes. Now, one tactic I definitely want to be aware of is bishop to a3. Doesn't quite work right away because white is controlling b1. So let's bring my king in, play king f7. I think my king belongs on the d6 square. Okay, white plays knight f1, so bishop a3, it's not quite working, but it's almost working. Do I have bishop to b4? Bishop e4 takes and then c3. I don't think that works. Okay, I'm going to play king e8. White's going to play knight e3. And I am aware my d-pawn is a little bit weak. But I think now I can go for this, bishop a3. Oh no, my bishop. If white takes it, I'm going to be promoting. White does have knight d1. Knight d1 might be a way for white to maintain control in the position. There's a chance white will take on d5, and then we'll trade d-pawn for b-pawn. Now, white is taking somewhat long to think here, and time is leveling. We do see knight d1. Okay, I'm going to repeat bishop d6. And I have another idea. If white repeats, brings the knight back to e3, then I'm thinking about playing bishop to f4. White plays king e2. Okay, I'll play king d7. Knight goes back to e3. Just realizing I want to play king c6, but then there's knight takes c4. So maybe I still go for this. Bishop a3. Some cat and mouse. Again, the bishop can't be taken. That would allow me to queen. White takes on d5. Wow. So let's take on b2. Very happy with this trade. King d2. I'm not actually queening though. Okay, I'll play bishop a3. So I'm still up a pawn. I have the very dangerous defended past b pawn. But white's king is within range. So if I play b2, there's king c2. White plays knight to e3, maybe looking to play pawn d5. Yeah, this is far from over. I'm going to play bishop g8. I just want to transfer my bishop to the longer diagonal. And I'm keeping c4 defended. White attacks c4 again. White is maybe surviving here. Let's push the pawn. This is maybe going to be a time scramble. I have 96 seconds. White has about 100 seconds. King c2. Yeah, let's play this. Check to the king. I think white has to block with a knight. And now I'm going to play g6. It's a very tricky move. Or is it? I think it is. If knight takes pawn, I have bishop f8 to trap the knight. And there's some ideas of playing pawn f5. Okay, white does take the pawn. So, okay, I'll play bishop f8. Oh, is it going to be enough time to win the game? I'm losing my b2 pawn. But white's knight is... Oh, is it trapped? White has g5 here. g5 maybe saves the knight. Okay, knight f7, also an attempt. But I can move my king. Let's not do that. Oh. The move, okay, as long as I don't let go of the piece, the move doesn't register. That's good. Actually, let's go for this. King e8. I am realizing that there's bishop takes c4, but now I move back to a3, and I'm ready to play g5 check. But white has g5. White plays h4. Okay, I'm going to play pawn g5 check. And it looks like my b pawn will finally queen. We see the c2 square glowing red. Yeah, white moves over. Let's make a queen. How do I promote? Here, here. How do I promote? Ah! There we go, okay. I burned time there. Okay, takes, let's, I have 21 seconds. Where's my mate? Queen here? I have 17.7 seconds. Is it going to be enough time? Let's take 15 seconds. The queen and two bishops should work well together. Knight h8, let's play bishop c1. Check to the king on d2. King here, let's play bishop to e4. Pieces are swarming around the white king. Bishop f7 check, let's run away. 6 seconds. Where is white going to move? Bishop here, queen here. And that's checkmate. Okay, that was close. I had only a few seconds at the end there, but I got the checkmate. The board lights up. The crowd goes wild. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you want to learn more about the ChessUp 2, more information is in the description below. And you can save on your order with my link. There's a lot of holiday specials coming up, so don't miss out. And I'll see you guys soon for maybe another over-the-board game against an online opponent. Stay tuned.